Chapter Protectionism with reference to international trade. International Economics. M.A. Final, Economics, University of Karachi. What is protectionism? The theory of international trade based on comparative costs stresses that the benefits of international trade can be held by the trading countries only when the trade is free from all restrictions. But it was later realized that the free trade, no doubt, is advantageous for economically advanced countries, but it may become detrimental for the developing countries, especially to small and medium-sized businesses, due to the various reasons. Therefore, the governments of developing countries step forward and utilize many economic and administrative tools to protect the rights and interests of affected sectors of the economy against the cutthroat competition of developed nations and giant global corporations. Arguments for protections. The following arguments are extended in favor of trade protections. 1. Infant industry argument was given by a German economist Friedrich List, according to whom newly emerging German industries were in need of protection against Britain's well-developed and established industries. 2. Diversification of industry argument. Friedrich List was of the opinion that the local industries should be established and protected against free trade. According to him, a country may not depend on a few industries. Otherwise it will have to depend on other countries, which will neither be socially nor economically and nor politically advisable. Three. Employment argument. If the existing local industries are exposed to foreign competition, they will be ruined and thereby rate of unemployment will increase. Thus trade protection establishes and enhances employment opportunities. 4. Conservation of resources argument. Carey, Patton and Jevons argued that in absence of restrictions, free trade transfers the resources from a particular country to other countries. 5. Defense argument. Defense is better than opulence or guns are better than butter. These are the arguments in favor of defense. Protection provides the opportunity to develop the defense industries and to curtail dependence on big powers. Free trade thrusts over dependence. 6. Revenue argument. Protection. Import duties may be the source of revenues for the government. Custom duties have been proved fairly productive all over the world. 7. Key industry argument. Efforts for economic development will be useless in the absence of basic or key industries. For example, no economic and structural development is possible without development of iron and steel industry. Since basic industries are crucial and strategic, therefore, they must be provided with necessary protections. 8. Balance of payment argument. An adverse balance of payments is a root cause of various economic problems, therefore, check on imports, through different protective tariffs, becomes necessary to rectify adverse balance of payments. Forms of restrictions. Protectionism or free trade restrictions may take various forms. 1. Import prohibition. Sometimes, certain goods are prohibited by law to import, and if they are allowed to import, they are allowed under certain conditions. Sometimes, some countries curtail imports by way of refusing to export certain raw materials to its importers, unless they are processed at home. 2. Exchange control. It is a system of government through which it regulates the foreign exchange. All the purchasing and selling of foreign currencies are handled by the government. Through exchange control, the government can rectify an adverse balance of payments by restricting and curtailing imports. Under this system, a limited amount of foreign exchange is permitted to consume on imports. 3. Import licenses. Under this system, import licenses have to be obtained before goods can be imported. Under the system, only import license holders are allowed to pay in foreign currencies, usually sanctioned by monetary authorities, i.e., the central bank. 4. Import monopolies. The government, sometimes, can make a monopoly to import certain goods, like gold, oil, uranium, etc. It is termed as state monopoly for imports. 5. Quota system. With reference to international trade, quotas have been used as an alternative to tariffs as a means of restricting imports. A country may allot quotas to its suppliers, by fixing a maximum amount of commodity can be imported during a period. 6. Protective tariffs. Tariff is a schedule of charges for goods and services. But more precisely, a system of duties imposed on import and export items either for revenue purposes or for protection of trade. Quota. Now we will take some in-depth review of the quotas used as a trade restriction tool. As stated before, quotas have been used as an alternative to tariffs as a means of restricting imports. A country may allot quotas to its suppliers, by fixing a maximum amount of commodity can be imported during a period. Types of quotas. There are two types of quotas, custom quotas and import quotas. 1. Custom quota allows a certain amount of a commodity to import at a favorable duty, and beyond this, normal duty is charged on the other. 2. Import quotas are more serious in nature. According to this type of quotas, an arbitrary limit of import is fixed beyond which imports during a time are not allowed at all. Advantages of quotas. Following are the advantages of quotas. It is visible in nature. Home manufacturers are aware of the amount to be imported and can regulate their production accordingly. Quotas are less resented. This can be used as bargaining counters in trade negotiations. Disadvantages of quotas. Following are some disadvantages of quotas. Home market becomes isolated and thereby is not benefited by price oscillation outside the country. Government loses its revenues. Quota system concentrates undue power in the hands of administrative officials. Protective tariffs. Now we will take a brief in-depth review on protective tariffs. As stated earlier, tariff is a schedule of charges for goods and services. But more precisely, a system of duties imposed on goods imported, or exported, either for revenue purposes or for protection of both. It is also known as the tax levied on the imports. Types of protective tariffs. Protective tariffs can be classified into two: prohibitive tariffs, and non-prohibitive tariffs. 1. Prohibitive tariffs completely discourage any import. 2. Non-prohibitive tariffs injure imports but not kills off the free trade. Effects of protective tariffs. Tariff is an important tool of commercial policy with which a government regulates its balance of payments in favor of small and medium-sized businesses through controlling imports. It is a double-edged weapon. On the one hand, it restricts the consumption based on imports, and on the other, it can shift the use of resources from one to the other. The effect or purpose of tariffs is to change the relative prices of goods and services and to change the relative prices of factors of productions. The effects of protective tariffs are further elaborated with the help of following diagram. Tariffs bring about the following effects. 1. Consumption effect. Tariffs curtail consumption through increase in price. When tariffs are imposed, price increase to the extent of tariffs amount. In the preceding diagram, imposition of tariff by PP decreases consumption from OQ3 to OQ2. 2. Redistribution effect. Imposition of tariffs reduces consumers' surplus because it increases prices. Consequently, some income is transferred from consumers to the producers and the income is redistributed. In the diagram, this effect is illustrated by quadrilateral PTNP1. 3. Protective effect. As a result of tariffs imposition, prices of imports become high so that the imports are curtailed. Decrease in imports provides protection to the local producers. Protective effect increases domestic output as it is shown from OQ to OQ1. 4. Revenue effect. If the rate of tariff is multiplied by the total quantity imported during a time, government revenue can be calculated. Revenue effect is given in the diagram equal to NSFR. End of chapter. Protectionism. A chapter of international economics. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more lectures on economics.